We're doing a live show on October 7th in London for the Cheerful Earful Podcast Festival. Weird name, but that's what we're doing. If you want to come, you can get a ticket from the link in our Instagram bio at the Year Is Pod. Or if you're not in London and you still want to watch, you can do that. We're streaming it live at www.nextupcomedy.com/earful.
Thank you.
Check it out.
See you there. Bye.
The Year Is with Red and Bobby.
Welcome to the Year Is Podcast, the podcast where every episode, me, comedian Bobby Mair, and my co-host,
Red Richardson.
we travel back to a year in history. We talk about the weirdest, the most interesting, the strangest things from that year. And the year we're going back to this episode has a lot of relevancy today. So let's just get a sense of where we're at today, Red. How are you?
I'm okay. Coolio has just died, which is sad.
That is sad. I listened to Gangster's Paradise 3 times this morning in his honor.
Did Mabel like it?
She clapped
That's good.
for the first time ever.
Yeah, well, that means she liked it then.
So I've played her thousands of songs. Well,
Baby Shark.
I played her the song Baby Shark
Yeah.
1,000 times. And then I played her Gangster's Paradise and she clapped.
Liked it more than Baby Shark.
And I feel like that was his target audience in 1995, white babies. That was really what Coolio was going for.
Wasn't it? That song was for that film with...
I don't know if it was for the film. I think it was used in the film. Dangerous Minds, about the white lady who saves all the black kids.
Who was I talking to about it? And it was like, yes, that was quite bad, wasn't it?
Well, there was a generation
Yeah.
of white teachers saving black children movies, and I love them. They're all great.
As if you looked like Michelle Pfeiffer and you were teaching inner city black kids. You know what I mean? In real life. Is that possible?
I don't know if it's possible, but it's just amazing that the thrust of the story was, we're white. This person's white. We'd like to help like they're helping.
It's like the South Park, how do I reach these kids? But yeah, he died, which is sad. 59.
59, very old for a rapper.
That's true. That is true. I hadn't thought about him for a while. When you sent it to me, I was quite tired, and I thought, I just thought of Shaggy. I went, oh no, Shaggy's dead, because one of Rosie's mates kissed him on a plane. Shaggy. Okay. When she was 15. Not good.
How old was Shaggy?
He was Shaggy's age. however old he's been for the last 30 years. Yeah, I think he was probably 40. She has no regrets, though.
I think what happens, I don't even know if there's, like, what laws are in the air?
What, for Shaggy? None.
When you're in the, like, what country?
Oh, in the air. Okay, yeah.
Like, what country?
Yeah, if they were, like, flying over Italy, then she's almost too old. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, yeah, if you're, but it's probably in America. So if they were flying over, like, California, where I think the age is 18, big trouble.
Big trouble.
Big trouble. I don't know what it is in Texas.
Well, I'm assuming, I think it's not like...
It's probably wild, like 10, but you can't have an abortion.
Yeah. Listen, this 10-year-old can do what they want.
They're really funny in Texas because it's all like freedom. Like Joe Rogan's moved there and he's like, yeah, it's just so free here. And they can't tell you what to do. And you're like, but like, you can't have an abortion. That doesn't sound that free to me.
Well, their definition of freedom is different than everyone else's.
Yeah. Like I could shoot someone. That's free.
I find myself, you know, the older you get, the more risk adverse you get.
Yeah.
Like today or yesterday, me and Harriet, we had a weekend away from the baby.
Okay.
And usually we have dog and baby, and it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some time away from dog, and that was easy. And then we had some time away from baby.
Yeah.
And that was pretty easy with dog. So now we have to decide which one of them to get rid of.
Definitely the dog.
Well, I mean, you say that, but...
I do say it.
The baby's a longer-term commitment.
Yeah, but Mabel's a really decent human being.
Yeah.
Sonny's a crap dog.
He's not a crap dog. He's just the first thing we trained.
You took a risk, and, you know, they don't always pay off.
That's true. But if we... Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why... So but we went off together, and we're in the car.
Mm-hmm.
We get to the service station. She goes in, and there's this guy, and he's like, "Hey, I want to go to Dover.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give me a ride? I'm hitchhiking."
No.
I was just
what,
like,
in the service station?
yeah, and I was
Yeah.
just like, no.
Yeah, no.
I'm not going to, but you've hitchhiked,
Yeah, back in Devon when I was younger.
and I've hitchhiked.
Mm-hmm.
We've both relied
Yeah, when
on
you were
the
like 14. But
goodwill of
if you're an
strangers.
older, how old was this man?
Probably my age.
Yeah, you can't really just walk up. It's like, mate, I've got Netflix. I know how this goes.
Well, the thing is, I actually think hitchhikers are probably murdered more than they murder.
Yeah, makes sense, because if you haven't got a car, murdering on the road's probably quite the task. What are you going to do, kill the people? I suppose you could drive their car.
Yeah, I just have this image of him just stabbing me in the neck.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, odds are you're a nice guy. And
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
struggling.
Yeah.
Or you just want to go somewhere and you're one of these no money people.
Mm-hmm. No, he's probably like a nomadic traveller. The 90% chance that. But there's also a risk that he's not that.
Yeah, I couldn't. Also, it was the one day away for this year where we're not with the baby. And imagine I was like, hey,
No, hurry up.
I know we got rid of the
this
baby,
guy.
but I've got us this man, and he's going to sit where the baby usually sits,
yeah.
and we're going to have to entertain him.
We'll take him with us. When I was in Menorca, a guy tried to get in our car because I was driving this really old car that was like, it took ages to take off, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Had a choke and everything. And he was just like banging on the window. He's like, take me. And we were like, oh, no, I don't speak Spanish. And he spoke in English. I'm like, still, no. And he tried to get in. It was really weird. But yeah, there is a thing. It's sort of like, I'd pick up, like, if you saw a young teen girl hitchhiking, you'd pick her up because you'd think someone like Jody might get her.
We're just gonna clip that, so it's just if you say if I saw a young teen girl, I'd pick her up.
No, but for the safety, you'd go,
Yeah.
don't want a creep getting in,
Yeah, maybe.
Bad.
This guy went and I went and parked my car outside my dad's house, running in to get something. My girlfriend was just sitting in the car waiting for me, and then this guy just came and got in the driver's seat and sat in the car, I guess thinking that there was no one in the car and I'd just forgotten to lock it, to steal it. And he just kind of looked at her. He's like, have you got the time?
Is he now with your girlfriend? Does he have your car?
Yeah, this is why.
Because I haven't seen a car or a girlfriend from you yet. So this is where they both went.
This was before Jody found our podcast and we ruined his life.
Yeah.
He used to have a car and a girlfriend. We want to make it clear Jody does not have a girlfriend. For any potential spinster
suitors
down on their luck women.
No, or a car as well for any car salesman.
What happened to the car then?
Well, I sold it because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's depressing, Jody. You're really bringing down the fucking tone of this podcast. Where's the girlfriend, dare I ask?
She's dead now.
Is she actually?
No.
Where is she?
I think she's in Surrey now.
Okay.
That is like being dead to a lot of people.
That's quite nice, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave London, you're dead to me.
I'd rather be in Surrey than Jody's car. I'm checking Jody. Sorry, Jody. I was on the bus on the way here, and there was a woman having a conversation about her son.
Okay.
Who's been rushed to hospital. And I was sort of sympathetic at first. And then she's like, yeah, he collapsed because he doesn't drink any water. And she says all he drinks is apple juice. And he hasn't drank water in weeks. And I'm like, there's no helping this kid. He's fucking stupid. Like, seriously.
Did you say how old he was?
I think he's like 15.
Okay, well, I guess you learn.
Well, I just don't... Look, if he can't drink water, it's a pretty basic life skill, isn't it? It's not a skill, it's a need.
Think it's the most basic need in life.
Yeah, my husband died because he forgot to breathe. Well...
Our parents' generation didn't drink water, though. Like a glass of water, really. They're not up for
Really?
it. Yeah, I don't think so.
Mine did.
Your parents, water drinkers.
Yeah, big one.
I meet a lot of... My dad will not drink a glass of water.
And I suppose my dad doesn't really drink water either. Yeah, I'm right.
It just wasn't a thing.
Yeah. Well, like everyone used to drink beer.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember Pint Baby?
No?
It was a video of Paint Baby in the 70s. Some BBC documentary team made a documentary about an Irish pub, and there's a baby in it, and they pour paints in his mouth. And then they track down Paint Baby, and he's like, "I'm absolutely fine," and you're like, "Sure you are."
What was Paint Baby up to?
He's like, "What? Still lives in the same village." He's like, "It had no bad effect on me," and him and his mum's just there, and it's like, he hasn't moved out, has he?
Yeah.
He still loves pints.
And I bet he does.
Yeah.
I bet if he doesn't have one, he feels a way he's never felt before.
Yeah, he feels
Just like, this is what reality is. Okay, pour it in.
Yeah, but I love that they tracked him down 30 years later.
Pint Baby.
Yeah.
That is a horrible childhood nickname.
He wasn't Elon Musk, let's put it that way. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Red's getting messages. Anything interesting?
About a gig tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm doing it in Exeter. By the time this comes out, it will have already gone. So, people of Exeter, you've missed it. Because I am talking to you from the future.
Wow.
Ooh.
Well, today, we're going back to the past.
Yep.
We're going to a year, it's 2022. The economy is collapsing rapidly.
Yeah.
There's a war. Russia is most likely bombing gas lines to deprive the entire continent of gas for winter so that we freeze, and prices keep rising. The economy is really tanking. And I thought we need some perspective on this year about what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So if now is 1929 again, let's go to 1933.
Yeah.
4 years after the last Great Depression started.
Yeah, we have just enough fuel in the time machine.
Yes.
Thank you, Putin. He's a big fan of the podcast. He's made sure we get enough fuel every week to travel back to the year we want to.
What I like, is that he gives us the fuel, but he does say we have to praise him.
Yeah. Which, given the fuel, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
So, cheers, buddy. Right, let's do this. 33, Rise of Fascism.
I thought we were going to get in the machine. You just said the machine.
Oh, we're in the machine. We're cruising.
Okay.
With some of that Russian oil.
What do you see?
I'm in a polling station in Germany. There's this young upstart with a mustache like mine who he promises he's going to make Germany great again. Do I tick yes? Oh, it's too late. Voted.
Wait, so you've started 1933 by affirming you would have voted for Hitler.
Well, gotta say, he got into power on January the 30th, which is my birthday. 1933. The only leader in the Second World War who was voted in.
Really?
Yes. That's a crazy
Democracy works.
Wow. He did. He got voted in. Unfortunately, I just voted for him, which is bad. I'm sorry, everyone.
Well, people always blame Germany for World War II, which is like the whole German people. But actually, only 43%, 43.9% of the German population that voted for the Nazi Party.
That's too much.
That's still
by a long way. That's 43% too many people.
Yeah, that's 57%.
Yeah, but still.
I guess out of that 57, maybe some of them voted for somebody more right wing. They were like, well, this guy.
Imagine being a sort of like centrist back then when everyone's like, you got to vote. And we can't let the Nazis win. Oh, man, I don't vote. It's all the same bullshit to me.
Yeah.
And fucking 6 years later, you're sat on the back of a tank on your way into Poland going, fuck.
I really didn't think that through.
You shouldn't have slept through that alarm.
Yeah.
I didn't press snooze.
If there really was a time machine, I'd put Russell Brand in it and send him back there, and he'd just tell everyone not to vote.
Don't vote. It's bollocks. Yeah, Hitler got in. Mussolini had been in for 10 years or so. Have you ever read Mein Kampf?
No, I started. It was very boring.
It's shit, isn't it? No one's read it the whole way through, I don't think, ever. There could be a bit about him at the end being gay or something, but no one's ever read the whole fucking thing. So, but yeah, no, it's so boring. But from that, you go, how's this guy winning?
Well, I mean, if you read Trump's books, you would think,
What, The Art of the Deal?
yeah, the
Yeah.
guy who actually wrote that really regrets it.
Yeah. As fascists go, he was the most fun. Trump.
Well, he didn't get to be a fascist. He still might.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
running again for sure.
Yeah. He was fun. Did you see his tweet about Alec Baldwin? Or not tweet, it was on that Parler thing or an email he sent out.
What?
And he said, Alec Baldwin's an idiot. He hosted Saturday Night Live doing a terrible impression of me. A show which, by the way, I hosted and got the highest ratings. He killed a woman. He's stupid. Really bad. He always has to bring the ratings in. But yeah, 33. So no one can eat.
But also onto that, Alec Baldwin, there's a chance he might be charged.
Yeah.
If in a couple years Alec Baldwin is in prison and Trump is president again,
Yeah.
that is an amazing besting
Oh, God.
of one of your enemies.
Trump would love that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be sort of funny is if Trump gets in charge, makes America a dictatorship. And then every week, because he owns Saturday Night Live, he chooses what goes on. He plays Baldwin in prison.
That'll be great.
And he's petty enough to do that. Definitely.
I
And
wonder-
also, so 33 to now, Italy, Mussolini was in charge. Italy were just about to vote in a lady, first female. Progress. The boss bitch. I love it. It's like straight white men are ruining everything. Liz Truss, thank you very much. This Nazi in Italy. Who runs the world? Horrible women. Angela Merkel.
Merkel's out.
All we need is Hillary to get voted in. Yeah, so she's in charge now, or about to be in charge. Great parallels to today. The right's on the rise. Both Keir Starmer is ahead in the polls, which is good.
He's ahead in the polls by a lot.
By a lot. Loads of left-wing, like far-left people are like, oh, this is shit. Can you guys just shut the fuck up so we can get the Tories out? Thank you. No one wants to live in communist China. You tried. We didn't want it. We want a left-wing government, but I want to have a swimming pool.
I like that, Red, when you make a political point, this is your movement. Yeah, you tell them, Red, with your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, you point at them. You let them know.
Yeah, let's get the Tories out, and then let's talk about whether Keir Starmer's good or not after. Is that you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've had 12 years of like, I love it as well. Whenever a new Tory gets in, there's just like this fucking what's it called in Yo Sushi, when the conveyor belt of just scumbags. It's like Cameron, and then you're like, George Osborne's here, and then here's a Michael Gove, and here's Dominic Cummings. Where'd you get these people? It's like a never-ending sack of shit.
Well, they're all in the cabinet, so they get more money for it. So literally, for an extra like 20 grand a year, they're like, I'll do whatever.
I'll be the new face of shit.
Yeah.
There's always a new one though. And you're like, oh, Liz Truss, where the fuck did she come from?
Hi, I'm the minister of dog shit, and I have a lot to say. Actually, I think Liz Truss's proposals will help the dog shit industry.
Yeah. And so Cameron's was like Osborne, wasn't it?
That was his chancellor.
Yeah. And he had a few like people like that. And then Johnson just had, he really brought out the shit, like Dominic Cummings is such a piece of crap. I love he's like, they were all so incompetent. I know, because I was part of it. We're all pieces of shit, didn't you know? And we're like, well, we all know. We don't want to hear it from you.
Yeah.
No, you don't get to write the expose. And then what was it? Who was the Matt Hancock when he did I Fell in Love? Do you remember that?
That was the best. Matt Hancock falling in love.
Yeah. The CCTV kiss.
His ex-wife.
Yeah.
Who has to look at his stupid face once a week when she passes the kids over.
And the woman he ran off with, her husband owns Oliver Bonus. Did you know that? That store that you don't quite know what they sell. I'll never go in that shop. I didn't before. But
it's not his fault. She left him.
If you get cucked by Hancock, I'm not wearing a thing that you design.
Yeah. Your clothes.
It will curse me.
You're close. I'm a vibe of loserdom.
Yeah. Rosie would leave me for the street preacher down the road. I'm not doing it. Yeah, there's just something about it. It'd be funny because he looked like he was wearing an Oliver Bonus sweater when he apologized.
That would be really funny.
He's like, I just fell in love. Do you
Just
remember
shows
that?
the tag.
Love is love, and you can't. It's like, shut up. You promoted your side piece to, and then you left your wife when you got caught. You piece of shit. But yeah, so that's what's been going on now.
33. Okay, I gotta say, some really funny things happened. The Oxford Union Student Debating Society, right?
Mm-hmm.
They passed a resolution saying, "This house will in no circumstances fight for its king and country."
What?
Yeah,
Oxford?
yeah. They were like, "We will never go to war. No more war."
So all the sort of rich, educated kids go, we don't want to do this.
We think war is bad.
Yeah, it's like, no. But you'll control wars. Yeah.
And then years later, Churchill blamed that speech for some of the actions Hitler took.
Oh,
There's no
really?
evidence of that, though.
Is that like now when people go, oh, it's because of gender-neutral toilets. That's why Putin's fucking crushing.
Yeah.
Really? It's because of cuties in the net on Netflix. You're like, yeah, sure, that's why. He had enough of pronouns, and so he took it out on Ukraine. Fucking crazy. So what Churchill was like, yeah, that's Hitler saw that and went, oh, have you heard those nerds at Oxford won't be engaging in combat?
Yeah.
Also, you look at the people who go to Oxford, no offense, they're not fucking Mike Tyson, are they?
Yeah.
It's not a loss.
They probably all became officers, though. Isn't that how?
Well, we'll run the thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
They sold the arms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better to sell the guns than shoot them, isn't it?
I think
That's what I'll tell my kids.
I'll be suited to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a cachet of rifles.
I do think with the chance of war, we should both publicly state why we wouldn't be good soldiers.
I would be awesome.
You heard it here first. If there's a draft, Red Richardson is your man.
I would have. I'm now. I think now I'm suited for a more tactical role. But in my 20s, God forbid you caught me on horseback on the battlefield. No, I don't think I'd.
What are you? What are you? A Polish infantry soldier fighting the Nazis?
No, I wouldn't have been good. I think I go, oh, fucking hell.
I watched you have a panic attack because you didn't want to get in a boat once.
Yeah, but that's because it was with you.
Yeah, but
I was around trusty soldiers.
Oh, you think the group of men that you'd be paired up with?
If I had a hotel and not the trenches, you know, if I could just get a hotel nearby and turn up at about 1 PM, fire off a couple of shots, and then go back to the hotel.
That's like the leader of a country. You're not going to get to do a photo shoot for war.
I'd want a steam room in the hotel as well. And breakfast served after 10. Because I hate when they do that. When they're like, oh yeah, breakfast is from 5 AM till 5:30 AM. And it comes with your price of your,
Why is it only till 10? Just give it to us till 11.
Oh, 12.
Yeah. Let me check out at 11 and come down for breakfast.
Yeah.
That would be perfect. Every hotel, it should be you check out at 11, you come down for breakfast, and then at 12, they say, okay, now you can take a nap on our lobby couch all day.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do, so if they said it, I would feel less ashamed.
Yeah.
And I also hate when you've been there for like 5 hours, then they come clean your room.
Yeah, knock on the door.
Because it's like,
What do you think I've done in here?
Yeah, I've already done gross stuff. Get out of here.
Well, no, not. It's insulting. So when you walk in, they go, give it half an hour. We'll go do a first clean. So it's not as bad as when we have to do it tomorrow.
That's what I loved about COVID. When you stayed in a hotel, nobody cleaned your room. I hate when they come in and like move your stuff and like.
I like it when you're out and you come back and it's clean.
No. I don't like to know they're
New
touching my
sheets.
Pringles. They're never giving you new sheets. They just make the bed.
I bet when they go in, Bobby, and they just pull out your Pringles and they just put them in their mouths. They don't bite or crunch, and then they just put them back in.
I like that. It makes me feel closer to another person, just knowing my mouth has been where their mouth has been.
Hotels are fucking disgusting.
I feel less alone in the world.
Budget hotel, there's nothing more rank. There's always a blood stain or something, and you just know that some pathetic 65-year-old man had sex with a prostitute in there.
I used to be very cheap.
Mm.
And once when I went back to Toronto a few years ago, and I was at like the height of my cheapness, I staying in like a $50 a night hotel room, and there was blood on the wall of the room.
Yeah.
And then I got some friends to come over, and we were gonna do mushrooms. And they just looked like, "Is that blood on the wall?" They're like, "We can't do mushrooms here. Can we go anywhere else?"
No, yeah, this is fucked. I remember on your tour, and you made us stay in the same hotel room.
And
I was very new to comedy, and I didn't know. Harriet told me that's a really unethical thing to do.
It's not unethical. My wife told you I should have got you. I thought it'd be like a nice sleepover.
And then we were in Birmingham. This woman's like, she had a PS4. Do you remember that like 20-year-old walking around with a PS4 complaining that the plug wasn't working? So he brings a PS4 to our hotel, but fair enough. And then we got that nice hotel where I had my own room, and we turned up, and there was like the fucking scummiest wedding ever. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was just like these like huge men walking around, and it went on until like 4 a.m.
They like to party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, and I don't know how we got into that, but we're both talking about war, and then we sidetracked on hotel. I think that shows how we'd be in war. The fact that we started talking about it, and then it went on to.
I would forget what I'm doing. I would be like a scout or something, told to watch. I'd forget to watch. I'd get shot in the head. That's the end.
Yeah.
I would be a terrible soldier, for the record. I would. I have mood swings. I might hurt my own troops.
You might turn. Yeah.
My thumb really hurts sometimes. I think holding a gun would exacerbate that injury and make it hard for me to aim. I have a bad ankle. If I walk for over a mile, my ankle hurts.
Yeah.
I like my bones are weak. Like they break. I've broken a lot of bones. They're really easy. I'm hypermobile, which means my joints move out of like their sockets really easily, and there is a cure to it. It's exercise, but I've chosen to live with the condition. So for those reasons, I don't think I could ever fight in any army.
No, you sound like the worst soldier.
I just want that on the record.
Yeah, okay.
In case they're like, hey, who can fight in an army?
The thing is now, I don't think we'd even have soldiers. Just some guy in Texas can control a drone from fucking sat on his mum's sofa.
Have you watched what's happening in Ukraine, Red?
Yeah, but... Yeah, no, you're right.
It's still artillery warfare.
It is actually, isn't it?
We're talking about Napoleon
Putin's
last
like,
time.
I might nuke someone. And you're like, just shut up.
Yeah.
Someone's got to kill him, really, like now.
Well, if we keep saying that kind of stuff, he won't fund our time machine.
That's true. Putin, don't die, because we need the podcast.
All right.
So go on, yeah. So the nerds say, don't worry, we're pacifists, which is funny because pacifists always look like they'd be really bad at fighting.
Yes.
Convenient connection between the two, isn't there? It's never a fucking Tyson Fury who's like, I'm anti-violence. It's always someone who's 7 stone and very dweeby. And they go, yeah, I'm actually really anti-violence. Like, of course you are, because you're terrible at it.
Hey, we have a new sponsor this week. It's DBT UK. If you don't know what DBT is, it's a form of therapy that really helped my life. A few years ago, I had a complete mental breakdown. I was running around a fucking roundabout screaming. I was crying randomly. I was suicidal. I tried everything. And then I went and I did DBT, and it changed my fucking life. It was originally developed for people with borderline personality disorder, but they figured out that it works for lots of people, anyone really that is struggling with emotional dysregulation. If you can't control your emotions or your behaviors, this can really work for you. So I would really 100% recommend it. Like if you want to just message me and ask if you're going through something, message me and I can tell you how it worked for me. If you want to just email them, then email info@dbt-uk.co.uk. And if you mention the promo code YEARIS, you will get half off on your initial assessment. It's a really worthwhile form of therapy that I cannot recommend enough. Okay, Red, how would you say this name?
Okay, what is it? How did you try and say it?
Giuseppe?
Where is it? On here?
On the Wikipedia.
Yeah, but where's it written down? I can't see it. Is it just his? On top, it's Giuseppe.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, you said Giuseppe.
No.
It boggles me sometimes how little you can pronounce. And what was the other one? Paraguay. And what was the other?
The answer week was demography.
Demography, Paraguay.
In
Giuseppe.
Fred.
Yeah.
Fuck both of you. Get out of my fucking house. In 1933, Giuseppe Zangara tried to assassinate FDR, Franklin Roosevelt.
Franklin Derek Roosevelt. Franklin Daenerys Roosevelt.
He tried.
Yeah, he tried. Why?
Okay, the why is great.
Mm-hmm.
He confessed in jail saying, I have the gun in my hand. I kill kings and presidents first, and next all capitalists. What's hilarious about that is technically FDR was a capitalist, but he's also the guy that then went on, after he got shot, to introduce Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
A complete, he got the whole country out of the Great Depression by securing the banks.
Yeah.
And got everyone back to work.
Yeah.
You know, like he was the most left-wing president.
Yeah.
And then went on to lead the country through World War II.
Yeah.
The best president, I think.
Eisenhower took over, didn't he?
Yeah,
so he actually managed to shoot him.
Yeah, he tried to shoot him, missed, and killed the mayor of Chicago.
Sorry, but it's just like
hit some
that's
other
quite
people.
a downgrade, isn't it? I'm going to kill kings and presidents and the mayor of Chicago.
Yeah,
by mistake. Yeah. It's like trying to shoot like Saddam and hitting the ice cream van guy behind him.
Allegedly, when the mayor of Chicago was shot, and this is engraved on his tombstone, he said to Roosevelt, "I'm glad it was me, not you."
As if.
And then everyone doubts he ever said that. I like that Roosevelt came out and he said, yeah, the guy's a great guy. He said he's glad I wasn't shot and he was shot.
No one's ever fucking said that.
No.
I'm just glad it was me.
Yeah.
As he's dying out. Yeah. Well, he messed that up then, the assassin. Was he killed on the scene? Or did
they did execute him a couple months later. They really sped up his execution.
Yeah. Get him out of here.
Yeah, get him out of the planet Earth.
That's so many. How many presidents have been shot now then? Reagan got shot, Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln.
Wow.
Quite a lot. Didn't
McKinley get shot?
I don't know. It's quite a few. Jody, you got any facts for us or not? You got a wry smile as if you know something?
I don't have anything, sorry.
Oh, okay. You're just looking smug for no reason.
That's just how I look.
Oh,
yeah.
No, fair enough.
Yeah,
Sorry, Jody.
I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah, we don't really shoot our prime ministers here, do we?
No.
No.
Is there... Who would you assassinate if you had the chance to assassinate
Vladimir
anyone?
Putin. 100%. Back of the head.
You'd spit on him.
Yeah, I'd kiss him twice.
Hope that you had some disease he wasn't immune to.
I have coronavirus. He'd shit himself, though. Have you seen how scared he is of coronavirus? Yeah. It's funny because he thinks he's this bear, but it's like, nah, you're a little cuck, really. No matter how many topless photos you take of yourself. Yeah, him. What about you?
Well, I would if I could assassinate anyone, I would hire an assassin to try to assassinate me, and then I'd assassinate the assassin.
Why?
Because I'd be totally justified.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. He tried to kill me.
You wouldn't at all. It's like that story. I listened to a podcast about this kid who he
Wait,
got...
Why wouldn't I be justified?
Because you set them up. It's like saying, come over to my house, and they're burgling my house and killing them.
Yeah, but he's trying to kill me. What am I going to do? Not fight back?
To do it. You think it's euthanasia. You probably thought you were terminally ill.
No, but I would pay.
Why don't you just go to Switzerland and shoot a doctor in the face, Bobby?
I would hire him secretly, so he didn't know it was me hiring him. So he's just killing a man.
How do you know you could stop him?
Well, that's the adventure.
Okay. Well, there's a podcast I listened to. This is a true story. There's a kid. He's like 15, and he went on chat rooms and stuff. Met this sexy girl, quotation marks. Not a sexy girl, it turns out. But this girl's messaging him like, oh, these men are trying to kill me. I love you. I want to meet up with you and date you, but these men are going to kill me. And then she just disappeared. And then this boy met her on, she started talking to this man on the internet who's like, I'm a special agent, and she's been kidnapped by these people. We've got to get her back. And then he was like, there's this kid in your school who's involved. You've got to kill him, and they'll give her back. And so he goes into school, stabs this kid 9 times. And they go, what the fuck? The police do a deep dive into the internet and stuff like that. And then they suddenly realise all the messages have come from the stabbed boy's house. And he was in love with this kid. Took him on this absolute
boy. He was in love with the boy that's killed him.
Yes. But he orchestrated the whole thing. So the boy would stab him. He made up the girl. He made up and did it for like a year. He's the first person to be tried in this country for organising his own murder.
So he didn't die.
He didn't die. He survived it. He went to prison. He's now out of jail. They did a little catch-up of what they're doing now, like with Pint Baby. And the boy who stabbed him psychologically ruined. And apparently the fucking psycho kid who organised it is like thriving.
That's horrible.
He changed his name and is like running some fucking huge company.
Really?
Yeah, because he's a psycho.
Yeah, he's a psychopath. I'd love to get I think we should do something for that boy who stabbed him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's just ruined.
That's the only victim of knife crime where the victim is the one stabbing.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's really weird. But yeah, he was in love with him. And for some reason, it's like, just get him to wank you off.
I think he stole my plan, though. I think I must have told somebody about my plan before.
And he stole it. I don't know why he didn't just go, I'm the CIA. If you want that girl back, you got to jack off your mate. That's what I would have done if I was a young gay boy. You got to suck your friend off. And you go, oh, fuck. It wasn't the CIA.
It's for the cause.
But yeah.
So did the boy who stabbed him go to prison at all?
No, not at all.
They were like...
They were like, mate, you've been done so hard. Because it went on for like fucking 2 years. And he thought he was talking to the CIA.
What an amazing feeling that would be, though. What an amazing feeling to think you're a secret agent for that long.
Yeah.
It would be incredible. You'd be nervous. You'd be
yeah.
on edge.
No, I don't think he enjoyed it. I think it really fucked his life. We thought he was in love with this girl and she was being tortured in a secret fucking basement. And actually just this nerd who wants to shag him is just fucking with him really bad.
And what did he say to, what was the explanation that he got him to stab him then?
He said, you want the girl back, you're going to have to stab this kid who's killed it as an offering to the gang. But the thing is, the other kid who stabbed him, he's an idiot. 2, he's a psychopath. Like, if someone said, I've got Rosie, you're going to have to go and stab a random person.
Would you, though?
If it was Jody, yes, because I don't think he'd feel it. But
we don't know.
Jody's the sort of person you can put a knife and go, sorry, it's all right.
I'd stab someone for Rosie, and she's not even my wife.
A random person and just from being told online, someone you met on fucking...
Rosie's really nice.
She is really nice, but some kid you met on TikTok was like, Bobby, I'll show you my tits.
I don't meet... Listen, first of all, you just said kid. I'm not meeting it. In this scenario, no. I'm talking about, like, if some adult was like, hey...
Yeah,
we're gonna hurt Rosie unless you stab Red. I'd stab you.
Well, that's not good to know.
I'm saving your wife. That's the nice thing to do.
It's people like you. That's why fucking Hitler got in.
No, it's people like you who voted for him.
I did my mistake. I was under pressure. I was in the time machine. I was jet lagged from the time machine, and I made a mistake.
Fuck! I voted for him.
Yeah, shit. There must have been because after the war. In Germany, can you imagine 47%? What was it? 44%?
43.
43% of the people, whoever survived, must have been like, and then hearing about the Holocaust, all this shit, going, and look, a lot of them still would have been like, yeah, whatever, it was great, but there would have been people who go, I voted for him, you know, Hitler, yeah, I got carried away with the fucking those messages on the side of the bus, you know what I mean? Because there would have been people who would be like, all right, I want a right-wing government. Yeah. And also, poverty does stuff to people. You know, like whenever there's a fucking crash, there's always right-wing uprising.
We're going to find out soon, but...
Of course we are. Of course we are. Well, yeah. Italy.
The key to, like, populism is doing what the people like.
Yeah.
That's not really happening here right now. Liz Truss doesn't understand populism. She's just like, I'm going to do some right-wing things. And it's like, no, but if you want people to like you, you have to do right-wing things that, like, appeal to people. Give them a villain. The villain at this point is you.
Yeah, you're the problem.
You're the villain.
Yeah. What about Asian people?
Yeah.
No, it's you.
Yeah.
She's like a child from a horror movie. You know, one of those ones who's like, hello, mummy, and the curtain's blowing in the window. Ah! You can imagine her running at you with a dress, with a little dress on, with blood all over her face.
In 1933, the first alleged modern sighting of the Loch Ness Monster occurred.
I thought that, so now that makes it even worse, that whole thing. I thought that had gone on for like 2,000 years. It's like, let them have their myth, but actually, no.
Well, there had been sightings like 50 years before that. But then some Aldy McKay brought it back in 1933. And he said that he saw a large beast or whale-like fish
Yeah.
in the Loch Ness.
Could have been a fat guy having a swim.
A fat, hairy man.
Imagine being that guy who started the myth. You feel so depressed. It might have been that's the reason that guy in the last week's episode lost all that weight. Fasted for a year. I realised I was getting fat when I started a legend. A man thought I was a beast.
It could have been one of your ancestors.
Why?
Was the inspiration?
No, I'm the first fat one in the family. It's a very greedy. It's just completely thrown everyone off. Everyone else is stick thin. I don't have fat. This is all indulgence. There's no. When people go, I could diet. You know, there's nothing wrong with me apart from my greed.
So you
I wasn't born fat.
You don't think it's not a genetic thing for you?
No, of course not. It's just eating and living my best life, doing whatever I like.
What's your most outlandish meal you have it on memory?
I don't know. Like, well, I do a bad when I order Chinese, I get noodles and rice, and then I get spring rolls and a main as well. That's quite bad. I can see, but I enjoy both of them, and I don't want to pick.
You don't want to have to pick.
No, that's my sort of style. I don't pick between two. I go, I'll have it all.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I get that.
Yeah. I went I picked mussels in Devon we went snorkeling and got mussels, and I picked way too much. It was a very white Western thing to do. As I was doing, I go, I bet this is what my colonialist ancestors did in other countries. This is why the world's so ruined, because of people like me.
And did you then cook them?
Yes, they were really good. But I couldn't pick too many, so we had to throw some out. Because they die after, they're off, unless you, vacuum pack and freeze them. So it was bad. But it was a classic white, take more than you need thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen. I'd love to see the Loch Ness Monster or a UFO or something where you feel special, you know?
Well, you go mad because you go, I've seen it. No one's going to believe me. You know? Unless you're fucking. If someone like Bill Clinton came out and said it, you go, I kind of, you know what I mean? He's got a reason to hide it. But it's always the people who've seen UFOs also look like they've seen other stuff. You know what I mean?
Apparently Jimmy Carter said he saw a UFO, but never talks about it.
Yeah, because you can't.
But if you ask him, he'll tell you.
It's like when someone goes, I saw a ghost. It's like, well, how are you just fine? How the fuck are you just sat here going, oh, my overdraft and stuff? It's like, you've seen a ghost. Why do you care about anything anymore? Your whole reality should be shifted. I just don't believe it.
You don't believe anyone's ever seen a
I don't
ghost?
Flippantly, I think if you're in a psych ward and you tell me you've seen a ghost, you probably have. If you just sat around at a party smoking weed going, I saw a ghost, it's like, cool, how'd you go to the toilet? What the fuck are you talking about? Why do you care about anything? If you know that we survive as this spirit afterwards, why do you have a job? You know what I mean? It's just weird. Your whole life would be changed.
But most people do think that there's some kind of...
Yeah, but they're lying, or they're just trying to be interesting. You know what I mean? It's like when you meet a posh girl and they go, I'm polyamorous. You go, are you? Or are you just boring? I've seen a ghost. Cool. I don't know why they made that leap. I think it's something I wanted to say, and I just threw it in there. This podcast gets more toxic every week. Oh, less opinions, more history.
Have you ever met a genius, an actual genius outside of the two of us?
Oh, okay, outside. Who is a genius? Would I say? No, I don't think I have. You?
Yeah, there was a guy.
He
He used to come to my shows. Big fan. He was a savant.
Okay.
He was telling me how he was really bored taking maths at Oxford University.
Yeah.
I was like, really? Oxford? You're bored? Then he's like, oh yeah. So I dropped out, went to Greece, started traveling around as a folk singer. And I was like, oh, you speak Greek? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, and he played like a bunch of instruments. And I was like, oh, how many languages do you speak? He was like, 9. I was like, what? Are you a savant?
Fuck.
And then he was. So he was like an autistic savant.
Yeah.
Which means he has a completely photographic memory and can like read a book really quickly and know everything that he just read.
Yeah.
And now he's a high school teacher.
Well, that's a waste, isn't it?
But just because someone's a savant doesn't mean, like, they can process information a lot faster than we can, but it doesn't mean that they can make connections any quicker than we can.
Yeah.
Necessarily. It doesn't mean they have new ideas.
Yeah.
It just means they're like a supercomputer.
Okay.
And we are like a calculator.
Yeah. They're like the iPhone 13
Yes.
with a Nokia.
Yeah.
I actually know. Now you say, I do actually have a genius. I met a genius who was a psychopath, homosexual man, loved 17-year-old boys. He made the coding. He was like a biology genius, and when he was like really young, he made coding for artificial eyes, or not coding, created artificial eyes, and he had this like thing with membranes he was doing and stuff like that was revolutionary, and some company bought him out, and so he was really rich, lived in this giant house, and he used to drive into town and like meet young boys and buy them like stuff. So he had a car and he'd drive people around. He'd be like, "Oh, what drugs do you want?" And it was like very little drugs taken by him. Is what we started to notice. But I was suspicious of him, so I didn't want to hang out with him. But a few of my friends got very close to him, and then had to get restraining orders because he became obsessed with them, and wouldn't leave him alone. And they'd wake up and weird things would be going on. And he like knew I was a problem because I was like, "Oh, this guy's weird," and like I was getting in the way of him and my friends. And so he very cleverly said, "Red, I think you're really funny. I'm going to fund a comedy movie that you've written." Yeah.
And how did you feel about that?
I went, "Brilliant." So he said to me he was going to give me 25 grand.
Okay.
And he was so manipulative. He like paid for me and my mate to go to London, stuff like that. But like would like talk about it, have business meetings and stuff like that, to the point where it was like we were going to like sign a contract. And he was just completely normal for 4 months. I was like, maybe actually everyone's just being a bit homophobic because he's not a weird guy. He's just lonely and he's not preying on my friends. He's just misunderstood. Anyway, so I'm like, wicked, we're going to do this. He's like, brilliant. And then he's like, got me in his car and he drove at like 90 miles an hour. And he's like, we need to talk about, get ready for the bleeper, Jody. We need to talk about he was obsessed with. And I was like, and he hadn't mentioned it. Got a restraining order. He's like, you need to. A part of the deal is you've got to get me back in with him. And then it all just got fucking weird. And I was getting phone calls at like 4 a.m. He's like, I know what you're doing. And like, he took my mate, another beep, to his house. We had a massive house, like on the cliffs. It was like amazing. And gave MDMA and then started saying that like he had the devil in him. He needed to take it out of him. Quite rightly said it was the worst trip he's ever had. He was trying to get out of his house and the guy wouldn't let him. He was stuck there for 2 days and tripping on MD and acid while this gay guy followed him around the house telling him he wanted to get the devil out of him. Yeah, that was the genius guy.
I don't know if he wasn't.
In his field, he was fucking respected.
But he told you that.
No, I googled him.
Okay.
He had he has an actual business.
Do you know what he's up to now?
No, but I'm sure there's a young man with a very promising movie script in the boot of his car right now. But it was that sort of thing where like, fuck, this guy could kill one of us. He was like 40, you know.
Yeah.
We were very young. And I was so easy to manipulate. Yeah, we're going to make a movie.
So what was the day where you realized there's no movie? Was that the day?
When he got me in his car and he started driving really fast. And I was like, fuck. But he did everything. It was like Tinder swindler. Did everything to show you that you had the cash if you needed it.
Sure.
There was always like, go to my bank and put my pin in and get 50 quid out. And you know what I mean? It's just like you'd see his balance and he'd be like, oh, sorry, I just got to try. There was always like, always something. And his house was amazing. And like, but then he said like the Swiss government opened it like 25 million. And you go, I don't know if they do,
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, let's go to London. Because I was at university and he came to London with, but we went back, he paid for us to go back first class and was having all these like business meetings. I'm like, maybe this is the real thing. He's a bit, he's a bit just mad, but.
Yeah, I had a lady who, she funded some stuff.
What do you funded you? Putting stuff up your ass.
No, there was
You funded a movie. What was it called? Bobby shoves hot candles up his butt.
No, I had
a
benefactor.
That's
who
a
was
good movie.
Who was an open mic comedian in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I won't say the names, but she was renting a mansion at one point. Then let me and my friend stay in her mansion. But then the sexual advances came.
Yeah, they always do. There's no such thing as a free room in a mansion.
Yeah, it wasn't that I was like completely anti letting an old woman blow me for a lot of money, but the amount being offered was not like it was like it's gonna have to be life-changing money.
Yeah,
it's gonna be life-changing.
Yeah,
and that was not what was on the table. But she then. She would sometimes like hire me to write jokes for her, and that was okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was fine. And but then once she did, one time I was messaging someone on Facebook Messenger back when like everybody's using Facebook, and I saw a message appear and then disappear, and I was like, that was weird, and I just forgot all about it.
Oh no!
And then it turned out somehow she or someone associated with her had got into my Facebook and was using it to recruit actors to her acting agency.
Oh no.
So she was like saying, "Hi, I'm Bobby Mair. I'm a comedian. I work for this agency. You should work with us." As if I was going to have some very bizarre.
Yeah, that's weird. Using you as a scheme.
That was weirder than the sex thing. The sex thing I kind of understood.
You'd probably rather that than how old was she?
She's hard to say, maybe 50.
Yeah. It's always a hard one because you're like, look, you don't want someone to be lonely and stuff, but also, does every transaction need a sexual act? I don't think it does. Sometimes we could just be nice to each other.
Yeah.
And that's my thought of the day.
Okay, the reason I asked you the genius question was because in 1933, Albert Einstein arrived in the United States.
Yeah.
And settled permanently as a refugee from Nazi Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Einstein moves in next door to you. That would be intimidating.
You wouldn't know, would you? You just think it was a weird guy.
No, he's a famous man by that point.
Put your tongue back in your mouth.
He had already discovered E = MC squared. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. It's just nerds have made up their own world in science and maths. It just doesn't mean anything in reality.
But Red, without...
What's algebra? Fuck off.
No, E = MC squared. It's not algebra.
No, I know, but all of it.
He literally found
what
out
does
the
that mean?
Connection between energy...
Bollocks. But it's just nonsense.
And mass and move,
What does that have
vibration.
to do with MC squared?
Energy equals...
Mass squared. I could have thought that 3,000 years ago.
What? No, you couldn't, though.
Not impressed.
Okay.
You know who's smart? Jake Paul.
So what it means is, it means energy equals mass times the speed of light squared.
That means nothing. That means absolutely nothing.
No, what it means is the energy within anything is equal to the mass of that thing times the speed of light squared.
Yeah. So it's like if you lob a big lamp, it's slower than lobbing a small one. Is that what it means?
No. I told you what it means.
Well, you don't know what it means.
I know what it means. I just told you.
No, but that means nothing.
Okay.
Mm.
Let me. It's a big deal.
Volume
Red.
divided by energy plus XY equals naught. Am I a genius? It's the same thing.
But without that equation,
Mm.
they would not have been able to design
TikTok.
the atomic
Only
bomb.
fan. Ah,
That equation led to the bomb.
really?
Yeah, without that equation, gave them the information they
I'm
needed.
sure they were pretty on the way there.
No, but that equation literally is what made them able to make
He
the
went,
bomb.
E times X equals MC squared. Oh, brilliant. Now we have a bomb.
No,
If someone gave that to me, that's just a load of letters and numbers. Not having it.
To the people who understand what that means.
So what this idiot's done is actually bad.
Yes, a
He
lot of
created
people
a
could say
bomb.
that. Yes. His
So he's a fucking
insights
moron.
into the universe, where he had a dream where he was riding a beam of light. That was how he thought of it.
I'm sure the Japanese
real-
felt like that as well, didn't they?
Yes.
I had a dream. No, you didn't. Your face was being burnt off because some fucking arsehole nerd has ruined everything.
Yeah, but without. Okay, so you're anti-Einstein.
Yes, I am. I've just decided.
Why do you hate Albert Einstein?
I think there's this whole world of like maths and science where they just create garbage that doesn't need to be there, and it's sort of like
you
fucking
don't have any
bollocks.
idea what you're talking
I
about. though.
do. I'm a thinking man.
But like but formulas and like research
Yeah.
years down the line, like there's a lot, like creates like technology.
Get a life is what I say.
No, but like without.
Get a fucking life, you sad loser. Also, he was considered a maverick. In 100 years, I'll look back on this and they go, God, Red was a fucking genius.
Because you shit all over science and math.
No, it's just, I just think they create words and they just don't need it. We don't need it.
He didn't create words. He created a formula that led to the understanding.
Why didn't he cure cancer?
Because that's not how his brain worked.
Well, then he's shit.
You're-
He's used his brain for bad. Next fact.
I really,
Shame Hitler didn't kill him, actually, isn't it? And I don't say that about many people.
if Hitler would have killed Einstein, then then the war wouldn't have ended.
Well, he would have. It just would have taken probably 10 years. Japan weren't going to.
A
Give
lot
up,
more.
mother.
Yeah, they would have had to kill most of.
Because I bet, imagine being in Japan going, fucking hell, guys, seriously, let's not say we'd never give up. Because you know what that means. Some nerd boy's just done an equation.
I did the equation in like 40 years before that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, apparently he stole all his work. Have you heard this?
You just from you.
Yeah, yeah. What else was there then? It's all
Wow.
hotting up. Churchill was outcast at this point, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Someone wrote a book called The Great Tragedy of Winston Churchill, and he would have been about 55 at the time. So if you're out there and you're feeling like you haven't achieved what you want to, just remember, Churchill, at a late age, was being mugged off.
And if you're being mugged off at 55, odds are it's going to keep happening.
Yeah, you
I
won't,
mean, statistically,
we don't
you're
all
not
get
going
a
to be
war
Churchill.
to redeem ourselves.
Yeah. But yeah, in 1933, Churchill did make his first speech warning of the dangers of German
Yeah.
rearmament.
And they said, because he was so anti-Stalin, which is great, because you should be, but he said, look, Germany's the problem. And they were like, oh, so you're actually, like, you don't think communism's a problem? And he's like, if Hitler invaded hell, I'd give the devil a favourable reference. Very good stuff. Yeah, so he's warning about that. Then the Mitford sisters, one of them went out and shagged him. I think we talked about that in the podcast. Haven't we?
Oh, we love
and
it.
then shot herself in the head. Hitler was involved in 4 women. They all committed suicide.
Not. Well,
His niece, who he was having sex with.
he liked birds with broken wings.
He did.
Sometimes they had trouble flying.
Yes, and he couldn't be there all the time for their mental health. I don't think you should blame him. Yeah. Well, I don't think Eva Braun had a choice, did she? What would have happened if she go, I don't want to die, and he'd gone fine, and then she just, like, could she live her life?
No, I don't think so.
Like,
She would have been killed. She wouldn't.
yeah.
They wouldn't have let her.
Well, it depends who got her, because like, they said the Russians, the fleeing Germans would say to their families, if the Russians come, take this pill, cyanide.
Yeah.
If the Allies come, surrender. Yeah, what would they have done with Eva Braun? Would she go to jail for being Hitler's? Because you are really guilty by association with that man, aren't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's a tough one.
it's a life sentence. But then what do you charge her for? Shagging Hitler, yeah. That's pretty bad.
Bringing comfort to the enemy.
Yeah. Like, no one's ever gone like, oh, I wanked off Hitler in, like, 1912.
I feel like
fucking regret it.
the punishment for consensually having sex with Hitler is having to have sex with Hitler.
Yeah. But a lot of women loved him. They did. He'd get notes from women, and he'd find out where they were and have them sectioned if they were too sexual.
He didn't like it.
No, he didn't like it at all.
Also in 1933, Gandhi, on his crusade to free India, was sentenced to prison in India. You never think about Gandhi and the Nazis being around at the same time.
Yeah, weird. Weird clash, isn't it?
Yeah, I wonder if Gandhi and Hitler ever met. Let's check.
I don't think they would have. I don't think they went in the same circle.
Did Gandhi meet... If you type in, did Gandhi meet, nothing comes up. Did Gandhi meet Hitler? I'm Googling. No.
No.
Gandhi never even went to Germany in his whole life.
Did you hear about Gandhi? He used to sleep in a bed with, like, underage girls to test himself. And he'd never do anything. But it's like, the fact that this is a test is bad.
Yeah, that fact has been talked about a lot.
Yeah.
We're focusing on the bad.
Yeah, let's focus on the good. I prefer the Apple Gandhi, you know? The Steve Jobs Gandhi than the other one. The one who sat there with a raging erection surrounded by young kids.
Yeah.
Going, not going to fuck him. Not going to do it because I'm a good guy.
Everything else, yeah.
I like the good stuff. Well, I think we've done the year.
I think we have. The thing is, there's lots we could talk about, but, like...
What's the point?
What's the point? The world is spitting into awfulness.
Yeah.
We're going to keep coming back here every week and watch it happen.
Yeah, and hopefully we don't get nuked.
Yeah.
I really don't.
No, it's a joke. Don't take it seriously. Yeah.
Putin, you know, we didn't mention it. We were too busy talking about the fuel for the time machine. Maybe we should mention it next time. But thank you so much for listening.
Thank you to our super genius patrons, Matthew and
Spencer.
Christopher.
Well, Christopher ducked out, but we still love you, Christopher.
We still love you, and Spencer.
And Spencer. Thanks, everyone else, Patrons. We're about to record our Patreon exclusive episode. If you haven't signed up, do, because you get hours of extra content every month, and it supports us doing this podcast. Give us money.
Please.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to an episode of The Year Is, with me, comedian Bobby Mair, and my sometimes friend, Red Richardson. This podcast has been produced by our brilliant producer, Jody VandenBurg. Thank you.